Hello everyone and welcome to another Top 5 Records video, another one in the series in which I'm taking a closer look at the full discography of the Rolling Stones, awaiting their new release, Hackney Diamonds. I'm very excited. I'll be going to the listening party in just a couple of days. Yeah, I just can't wait. But during the series, we have just arrived in 1997 and at this album, Bridges to Babylon. Now, this CD for me has a different meaning than all the other records for a very simple reason. This is the first Rolling Stones release which came to me consciously in time. I was born in 1989 and this record is released in 1997, and I really noticed this cover lying around at friends' places, at my aunt and uncle's. This was quite something when it came out. And I always loved the cover art. I loved the lion here. You know, I'll take this out because there's a crack in my CD, so I'd rather hold the cover for the video. That might be a bit nicer. You know, so this is an original CD from 1997. I really like the artwork. Now I'm going through the artwork, but I already did that in the old days because as a child, a CD is lying around. You're just gonna watch it, and this had the vibe of the Rolling Stones have found their way again, which I really enjoy. Now I haven't listened to the album back in the 90s. I listened to it just now, and this is the second and last album they made in the 90s. Building up towards this, I had some issues with CDs because 60 minutes of music is a lot, and listening to this album, I still agree that 60 minutes of music on an album, it is a lot. Yet this one, Bridges to Babylon, it is so diverse that I didn't really have a problem with that. I really dug this album. It's really great sounding. It has a lot to do with a lot of things. Now, the way this album was produced is kind of different because Mick Jagger and Keith Richards were not on speaking terms during the making of this album. So they were not the sole producers. There were other producers involved. I believe it was the Dust Brothers and Don Was. And so, with the coming of new producers, there are a lot of different influences. And while Mick Jagger wanted to use different genres, also on Voodoo Lounge, he did get his way with the Bridges to Babylon album. And great idea. Good of Mick Jagger on this album because it's so much more diverse. The songs are different. The album sparks in a different way. Now, I've been saying this in all the videos since, I believe, since after Tattoo You, so starting with Undercover. Is there a great big Rolling Stones classic on there? Well, perhaps Anybody See My Baby might qualify for that because it was also a top 40 hit, if I remember correctly. To me personally, there's not one of those songs I'll be humming on my way to work. Does that matter? No, because this is a good album. And what I also noticed listening to this was, especially in the 90s, but perhaps starting with Steel Wheels, a Rolling Stones album becomes a genre in its own right. It becomes an album you put on. You might put it on the background with some friends over. You might put it on while doing other things. It decides the atmosphere in the room. There's nothing quite like it. Just as with Frank Zappa, you know, Frank Zappa album doesn't need any hits. You just want to be in the atmosphere. Though Zappa has more to offer than just that. And the Stones also have to offer more than just being in the atmosphere. But you're in their vibe, you're in their world, and it's good stuff. It's quality stuff. And that's what I like about Bridges to Babylon. I prefer this one above Voodoo Lounge. I prefer this one above Steel Wheels even. I think this might be their best album since Tattoo You. Yeah, I dare to say that. Their best album since Tattoo You. So, that is my review of Bridges to Babylon. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.